all right. How's everybody doing tonight on this third? I keep thinking it's Thursday. Goodness, on this Wednesday night. I hope that everybody's doing well. My name is 12 Gage. Welcome to my channel, 12 Gage Investigative. I'm glad that everybody's here tonight. We seem to be getting people coming in as I'm talking, so that's always a great thing. Thank you so much for spending the evening with myself and my guest that's about to come up, Sonia Dee, and she's going to tell you guys a little bit about herself, and then we'll get the show started. Before I bring her up, I'm going to give you a little insight on what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about Idaho 4 and more, and we're going to have a good time. And I'm also going to bring somebody else up. So we'll have like 3 people on panel. So welcome everybody. All I ask is that you not be disrespectful to any of the panel guests, as well as in the chat. Let's keep it cordial. And I'm wearing these shades because my eye is weeping like crazy. My allergies are going crazy. So not trying to emulate anybody else. If I was, Daniel would be my inspiration. Daniel, if you're listening, I like your shades. They're cooler. So here we go. Let's bring to the stage Sonia Dee.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Hi, everybody.
You guys say hello to Sonia. Sonia, can you tell the chat a little bit about yourself before we begin?
Yeah, hi. I'm SONIA DEE. I've been on YouTube for quite a while. I just had a different niche before true crime, but I started my true crime truly on TikTok in I guess 2022, starting with the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard case, and then I went towards Idaho 4 sadly happened, and then I jumped on that pretty quick. And from week 1, I've been investigating and talking about the Idaho 4 case. And so I brought that over to my YouTube after that because, like I said, I started on TikTok.
Alrighty. So, where are you in the Idaho 4 case? I mean, what was the last thing that you discussed on your channel regarding it?
Today, actually, I was just paying tribute to Jake and Maddie's relationship.
Okay.
I go based on my feeling, really. Like I'll pull up my YouTube in just a second here, and I'll tell you exactly what I posted today.
Okay.
Um, Based on the document, was the sheath planted? The defense is going to throw that out there, right? So was the sheath planted or was it not? So I just posted a video about that today as well. And Emma Bailey's back in the scene, but that's a whole other thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I saw that. I saw that. I mean, I read a little bit about that. I have no clue what really was going on there, but it's always terrible when somebody, doesn't give you the credit and they take, from you. Is that
Or
is that the general consensus of what happened, or do
of
you want
what? Of what? Sorry.
the Emma Bailey and Demetrius video you were talking about in your community post?
Oh no. Oh yeah, but I took that down. I'd rather not get into that. That was like
Okay.
I even emailed the creator and tried to make amends because I'm not about the drama and I just felt like I needed to. But I wasn't talking about that. I was just saying that Emma was back in the scene. She was out last night. She posted on Instagram for the first time. So that's what I was talking about.
Oh, okay, okay.
But but
Oh,
no,
okay.
I
My
wasn't
bad,
talking
my
about
bad.
that. That's okay. I knew it would probably come up because I was very passionate last night and
Mhm.
that's on me and I've messaged the creator and yeah, so but
Okay,
hopefully
it's
by God's
always
and
a good thing.
bygones, I'm uh too I don't know, I just don't like it at all. But I'm very outspoken. So, it's either I'm very passionate, I'll say exactly what I need to say and then I'll just drop it. And
Right.
but anyways, I don't mean any harm by it, trust me. Like it's just but it was some video that I had posted in 2023 that was taken and put on her own page and I
Okay.
let it there. I left it like I didn't do anything with it or I just let her keep it on her page without doing anything about it. But That's okay. I should have actually, and that's what I messaged her about. I said, "Look, I should have really have gone to you first before I doing anything. You probably would have removed it on your own,
Right.
basically." So yeah, it was just uncalled for on my end, passionate moment, um, but at the
Okay.
same time, I don't feel like I did anything wrong in a matter of reporting it because it was copied and pasted basically. But anyways, that's a whole thing. Like I said, I should have just messaged the creator and handled it that way.
Okay. Well, I want to start off by talking about this. Um, I'm not one of those conspiracy type people,
Yeah.
but I ran across this and it kind of got me to thinking a little bit because it's kind of like where we're at today with all the documents and everything that have been dropping.
Okay.
It starts off, it says, letting you all know this because I've been following this for a week. I've been brainstorming with a friend of Xana's, and as of now, we believe that the killer was a man wearing all black and a mask. My source comes from Dylan, who she herself said she saw him quickly outside her basement window, and he didn't see her. She ran to Beth's room because she was scared, but I don't think she knew the severity. Multiple friends have also said that Kaylee had been stalked 5 weeks ago at Winko's and that there may be footage there. And also, Kaylee again got stalked while walking her dog Murphy. And then, to top it off, weeks ago, the sliding glass door at the house was found open.
Hmm.
Killer seemed to have treated this as a hunt. Everything I've found, I've forwarded to the tip line. If there's any if there's any and all information that you want authorities to know, I've been piecing a timeline of events since Sunday. Initially, we did not know whose blood we saw leaking out of the house, but after much research, I'm sad to say it was most likely Ethan and Xana's blood.
Mm-hmm.
We know Xana went down fighting possibly Ethan too.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
what do you think about that?
Well, I do in regards to Kaylee being stalked, it has been said that, well, she went to a vape shop soon and Brian Enton was there and he interviewed the guy at the vape shop and they were very open with that guy telling them that she was being stalked. Now, Winco's, isn't that grocery store at the corner of where he was arrested? Not arrested, but stopped, traffic stop. That was at the corner there, right? The grocery store.
Right.
Yeah. And yes, I did, Jeff. I did the whole time. My tattoo artist loves me. She's like, "You'll just sit there through anything." I only took like a 5 minute break to go pee. Sorry. Yeah. So, but in regards to that, I think maybe that's a huge possibility. Like I say, maybe huge, but I think it's a huge possibility. And I also heard Gonzalez's talk about how a week later, after her and Jack broke up, that um, she had been seeing this guy briefly, but he had called her a bitch, and so she's like, you know what, I'm not dealing with this. It was like
Uh,
very within the first week, and then she left that guy. So me originally, and I think I posted a video about this too, was Kaylee being stalked. I put out a video on that, and I just felt like, well, what if maybe it was either that guy, but they cleared stalkers like very early on. If I'm not mistaken, they cleared stalkers, two supposed stalkers. I don't know if anybody remembers that, but in the Moscow releases, in the rumor control, they
mhm.
had that the two alleged stalkers were cleared. So maybe that guy was one, but I don't know. That's just like my theory on that. But the rest of it saying how, like, I don't know if you can bring it back up because I'm very visual, but
Yeah,
um,
it was discussing two guys at Winco, and Rondi said it was two guys that they had cleared. So maybe that's who they're talking about here.
okay, maybe Rondi, yeah, for sure. Maybe it was just a couple guys talking to them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, well, for sure, the blood outside the wall was Ethan's. I'm thinking, based on the fact he was probably on the bed or on the side of the bed between the
Yeah.
bed and the wall. I would say on the floor. And that's where vision him, not on the bed. Because, well, although there was a lot of blood on the bed, on the
Right.
mattresses. So, um,
Well, let's get to the topic of the hour because I'm sure people want to talk about this. We just had
yeah,
two creators discussing the 911 call, the audio, and one creator actually went through and put in words that he heard on the 911 call that were not in the 911 transcript. I
right.
watched a little bit of Daniel's as well, and Daniel was talking about it, but I don't know how in depth he got because I was setting this up, so
Hmm, hmm.
I wasn't able to watch a lot of it. Were you in there by chance?
Yeah, I was. And yeah, I definitely was. And I even asked a question, Daniel, can you like let us know a little bit what happened? And he said, well, he heard a lot of frantic, a lot of like fear, so much fear, and how it's going to be traumatic when we hear it. And
Right.
he's not going to release it, as he shouldn't. And he said he's going to wait until like mainstream media does, and then
Yeah.
he will feel comfortable to release it at that point, whether or not we hear it from the courts first, right? Um,
And
but
a
yeah,
lot of people have been asking, the simple question, well, or have been stating, well, it wasn't that bad. Why did they hang on to it for so long? Why didn't they release it? It doesn't
mhm.
look that bad in the wording. What's your impression on that
No,
after
there's so much
hearing?
redacted to that.
Okay.
Like even the words that were shown, they were pretty emotional. I cried. I was doing a TikTok live at the time that that came out, and I read it like for the first time on live, and I just started crying like so much. I couldn't speak, because I was putting myself, even with just the small sentences we got, I was just like, oh my god, this is just redacted. There's no way this is all that it is. And when we hear the real call, it's going to be so so sad. And I'm like, I have to mentally prepare myself after 2.5 years of following this case, and the 911 call being the one of the most important pieces of this puzzle of the gag order that we're of case that we're dealing with. I think it's going to be really, really telling. And it's just Hunter, like based on what Daniel says, how Hunter's like he runs upstairs, and oh god, I'll make it a little emotional here. How he Hunter ran upstairs and he's like, Ethan, Xana, it's me, like, and then walking in on what he walked in on. So yeah, it's heartbreaking. I'm not looking forward to hearing it, I'll be honest, but we need to hear it.
I mean, also, I was watching Gray Hughes, as some of the people were talking about in chat. He broke it down as well. And there was a portion of it, and I'm kind of confused on this. I don't know if he was referencing the second floor or they actually walked into Kaylee and Maddie's room because at one portion, he said what it heard like Dylan saying, "Oh no, Kaylee," and then somebody yelling, get out, everybody out."
I
And
don't
then,
I didn't get that far, so I don't know if he said that or not, but if that's what happens, it's gonna be even more what like I'm expecting this. Like I'm just expecting that, and that's maybe why the doors are all open.
I mean,
Um
because I don't know where your stance is on, how I don't want to talk about other creators, but I know that we hear a lot of different things
mhm.
throughout the streets. Um, And there's a lot of individuals that don't believe that it went down like it went down. It there's a lot of individuals that don't believe that these kids saw what they saw. That they experienced what they experienced. What's your take on that?
Well, at first, and I'm the first one to say it, at first Dylan was my first theory. She was my first suspicious like person. That quickly stopped though. But did I always feel weird and suspicious that yeah, she didn't call? or Bethany. It was weird. It was so weird. And but now it's coming, the puzzles are being put together. So it's not as bad now. But
Right.
um, I never once for a second thought she was like actually involved in
Okay.
anything, nor Bethany. Um, I'm more like I do empathize with them in that aspect, but I just felt it's so weird. Like, why, just why didn't they call? But it's making more sense as we go along. And yeah, I just don't know. I don't know. I don't see her as being an involvement of the actual crime at all. I think she was traumatized and she was drunk, like they said, and whether or not she did see anything, one eyebrow, two eyebrows, like that was a little weird as well. Like her testimony is weird, but I can understand and put myself in her shoes if she's like going through it. So,
Okay,
um,
you have a question, Sonia.
yeah,
Leslie wants to know why not involved.
I don't think she was involved in, like, I don't like, there's a bunch of theories going around about her, and I don't think any of that is really what it is. I think she might have seen the guy, but not, she doesn't know exactly who it is. I think, no, no, I don't think Bethany and Brian were sleeping together. I don't. I just really don't. I heard those rumors though, but I don't think Dylan or Bethany were involved. I think they were really innocent people in all of this, and
Okay.
it's. I really like, but at first, like I always felt like it was just weird. Why not call 911?
I
I
mean,
never.
I don't know about you, but it's becoming a lot more clear to me exactly how it went down. I
Hmm.
mean, based on what we've gotten so far.
Yeah.
I mean, because the only stuff that we haven't gotten is the actual how the perpetrator carried out, what kind of evidence they have against him, more than what we've been told. Like if they
Mhm.
found fingerprints, if they found any kind of blood evidence, if there was actually any more any more DNA under anybody else's fingernails or anything like that. I really think that it's pretty much cut and dry based on the documents.
Mhm. I think there's a lot we don't know. They're just
Yeah,
letting us know some things and a lot of other things we don't know. They might, like, for all we know, they already have the knife. Like they don't have to tell us that they do. Do
of
they
course.
yet? Do they
No, they
have to? Well, exactly. So they may have the knife and they may have all the fingerprints on that thing. But that's something we'll know at trial, I guess, when it comes
don't.
out,
Right.
if it comes out. But there's a lot
I
they're not
mean,
telling us.
I just don't understand how it's not becoming clear to individuals that are hearing this and seeing it in black and white, and how it's still a big
Yeah.
mystery to them. As like, how is it still a big mystery if you've seen it in black and white, how these things have went down? Like, you, for 2 years and some change, we've been asking, well, give us this, give us this, give us something.
Mhm, mhm.
Well, they're giving it,
Yep. Good
and
old
people,
Hitler.
yeah, and people are still like, well, I don't get it. It's weird. It doesn't make sense to me. Well, is it
Yeah,
ever
the
going to make?
pro burgers, right? You're talking about because like he could do no wrong, Brian, I guess. I guess if we look at it that way. Um yeah, I don't know. I don't know why if it's in black and white that they can't see it. It's like we'll see. There's so much evidence even though they're not letting us know a lot of it. So it's kind of weird.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to pull up a video where
Yeah.
actually, actually Jeff and I think Tom Van
Mhm.
went into the house and we were discussing theories, you know, and I have a lot of theories in my videos, and it makes me a little happy, not about the crime, but the fact that I'm learning what I'm supposed to be learning, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
because otherwise I'd be spending so much money on this education and to not be learning it would be frustrating to me.
Mm-hmm.
You
Well,
know,
yeah,
let
we're
me see
almost
if
done
I can
that.
find it. When it comes to finding videos, it's always a scavenger hunt. So tell the chat a little bit more about your TikToks. Walk
Well, my
us.
TikToks, well, like I had told you earlier, I had a main one that was banned in January 2024. I had close to 100,000. I was at 96.6 thousand followers, and it got banned, sadly. And so since then, I've been rebuilding my TikTok account. I'm in Canada, so I don't get paid on TikTok. So
Oh,
I'm not doing it for views or money. I don't even get paid. I just really do it for the kids, theorize, but also keep it factual too, based on documents, based on different opinions that I have of certain things, intuitive thoughts, a lot of that, a lot of intuitive thoughts. But like my friend said, I would be a good juror because I can be unbiased and look at it from all angles. And that's what I enjoy doing. But do I think more that Brian's guilty? Yes. I'm lean more towards that side, and I always have. But do I think there's something's questionable? Um, until we hear more, yes, the gag order is to blame for that because where it's all left for speculation, some things.
right,
So,
right.
but thanks, Jeff. And yeah, so I just yeah, but my TikTok is all that now. I mostly follow the Idaho case, but you know, um, breaking cases I'll discuss as well. Generally not things with children though. I don't like those. Like I
Well,
just
let's go.
it's too
Let's
hard.
go into the house, and Jeff and I are talking about this, and I'll
Hmm.
pause it so we can have some commentary because
I
we're
love this
walking
one.
through the we're walking through the house, and we're actually talking about a lot of different things. If
Okay.
you've ever watched this one's called Idaho 4, let's go back into the house, look around, speak on case rumors, falsehoods. And here we
Okay.
go.
That was delivered, but it does say that, I mean, it's got her name on it, so it does say that she does order that, or unless it was a bag that she picked up and that had her name on it. But it sure seems to me that's a delivery order. That looks like
Right.
a sticker they put on a delivery order bag.
And here's a clear picture of the 1122 King Road kitchen. It is just as you see in this 3D, but it's still distorted in this 3D view for some reason. You know what I mean? Because I'm not even okay. That's still better, but you still can't back up and see it.
Okay, I'm using this for visual
Yep.
because I want to hear what we got to say. But as far as visual of what we've
Hmm.
heard,
Yeah.
they said that, she couldn't see the slider due to this view right here, which makes a lot of sense because
That
her
was in the way.
door her
Hmm.
door is further back this way, and that
Yep.
that is true.
Yeah,
That
that
is
closet, there's a closet there too, right where
right
yeah,
here.
right here. Yeah, there's a closet there for the brooms and stuff. Yeah, so it makes it hard for them to see. I'm very familiar with this house tour. I've posted that on my TikTok too, like the full house tours all the time of the virtual tours. I have a
Yeah,
lot of those.
it's
uh,
pretty.
I've
It's pretty nice, isn't it?
I've done a lot of yeah, yeah, for sure. It's been so helpful to understand. I don't know if you have it on this one where you can go in dark or light at the
Yes,
good vibe
yes,
sign. Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, that was really good. Yeah. Oh,
So we were just talking about
about
the
the
Jack in
bag.
the Box. Yeah,
Yeah.
the Jack in the Box bag. What's your theory on that? Do you have any
I think
theory as
that
to that
Jack
was
in the
the bag?
Box bag was old. I don't think that was the order. I don't
Okay.
that drink beside it looked way too old. It looked like it
Yeah.
was like 2 days old. Personally, I don't think that was the one. I think maybe
Okay.
that bag is probably in her room or something.
Yeah.
Whatever
I
she
like.
ordered, if she
I
ordered it.
had I had my Barry White voice going on. It wasn't a voice changer. I was sick, so
Oh.
that's why my voice is so weird.
You know what I mean?
Yes, I
Can
do.
you
And so,
does your mouse have a scroll wheel? Because I think on mine, if I use the scroll wheel, it zooms in and out. So try zoom all the way back. When you zoom all the way back, it probably gives you closest representation of and it's like a wide angle lens, so it is distorting and stretching things.
Yeah. So
But
this would be the view the killer would have seen. No telling how dark or how illuminated the house was at this point, or how much those lights from the patio really illuminated that house.
Yeah, and that's something that I talked to Jeff and Tom about. Is I wasn't really certain at first if those lights were on, but as I saw more pictures being taken and floating around, you
They
were
were on.
able to see that the patio lights were on.
Yeah. And the Twinkie lights in the living room too, they were on with the good vibes. Kaylee's, I think, were on as well upstairs, if I'm not
Yes,
mistaken.
yes. So I would think that based on illumination, if those lights were strung all the way across the back patio, that they would have illuminated a little bit of the kitchen, maybe not all of it.
At least to
You know?
those doors right to your right here, to at least towards that, maybe like not past that, like the dishwasher, or is that the stove? What is that? Dishwasher, stove?
This is it looks like the stove, yeah.
Where's the burners? Oh, that's
Or
just a
maybe
picture,
that's a
anyways.
dishwasher.
Yeah,
Maybe
but it's
that's a
not even the real one, anyways. I'm like,
yeah, this
wait,
is a
why?
dishwasher. This is a dishwasher. The stove's by the slider, kind of.
Yeah,
But
so I
you're
don't
right.
think the
It
light.
would have probably went halfway.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But then, like, the living room would have been lit up to a point,
yeah.
up to probably like the bathroom.
But I
And
think it's so interesting as what we know now that so many people were saying, well, how come she didn't see him go out the slider? Well, if she's back behind this little blind corner right here,
mhm,
she wouldn't have been able to see because her doorway opens in the different direction. It doesn't open this way.
that's
It
right.
opens that way, like
Right.
to the left.
Yep.
Doesn't open to the right. So she's looking in this direction anyways.
Correct.
So as he
Yeah.
crosses her peripheral view right here, it does make sense that she would have only possibly just seen an eyebrow. I mean, it
Mhm.
does make a lot of sense,
Right.
right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. It's
Do you
so
think
interesting.
that he was able to see a lot more with those lights illuminating from the outside, so he was able to tell which direction to go? Like, if you move forward.
Okay. See, there's her door,
Mhm.
and there's the latent footprint, supposedly,
Yep.
somewhere around here. So that is a blind corner. There's no way that she would have been able to see unless she stepped out and stood right here and watched.
Yeah.
You
I
know what
don't
I
think she
mean?
would have done that.
I don't think so either. I
No,
don't think
no,
so either.
no. I think she stayed put in her room until she actually went down to Bethany's room. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So that's a visual of what a lot of people don't really seem to comprehend, that she was viewing everything this direction. The individual was going past her in this direction. So when you
Mhm.
see that illustrated right here, you really get a concept of how, in passing, she possibly just saw an eyebrow. She possibly just saw something because the body would have been hiding. If he was holding it in his left hand, she would have seen the vacuum type object. But if it was in his right hand, she wouldn't have got a good look, as what many people claim that she would have gotten. What do you think about that?
Yeah. I agree. Absolutely agree. That's she. As he's walking towards her, well, with the mask on, with the ski mask that she said, well, all I would see would be the eyes, like the nose, the top of the nose, and then the brows, obviously, because that's all that's popping out at you.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I just don't know. I don't know what it is, but it's definitely a blind spot. There's no way, and there's no way she was going to come out of there.
Right. And have obviously we discussed our age, and I'm not going to disclose it on live, but
Right.
we're around the same age,
Yeah.
and can you remember if when you were 19, 20, 21 years old, how your mind worked a little or if a
Yeah.
lot different than it would be today?
Oh yeah. I was worse than any of these kids. I was
Yeah.
absolutely worse than any of these kids. I started drinking at 15 and became an alcoholic at around 18, 19. Then I quit drinking. Then I became an alcoholic again. But during those times, those 18-year-olds, like I've done it all. So, I mean, I can put myself in her shoes and know that she was, well, both ways, I guess. Like she's a wild one because she likes to party. Let's just be real. She likes to party, but
Hmm.
what 19-year-old really doesn't? You know,
Right,
I've been
right,
there, done that, so I understand. I can put myself. I can I can relate to that. um, but then at the same time, what would I have done if I was in her situation as a 19-year-old in that situation? Who knows?
right.
Nobody knows like what they would do until you're put in that situation.
I like
But
how
the
you said that. I like how you said that.
but the
Because at our
yeah,
age, we can sit here and we can say, well, we'd call 911 or we'd do this. We'd chase the man out or we'd get pictures of him or we'd do this, we'd do that. Well, we have a lot of life experience that
yeah,
obviously, even in the 911 calls, you can see in Gray Hughes's 911 explanation, you can tell that one of the kids was just kind of like dumbfounded. He's like, hello? Talking to the 911 operator, like, he said hello as in, hello, bro. It's kind of like that. You know what I mean? It wasn't.
mm,
It
that's
wasn't a sense of, okay, well, I got the phone. Why'd you hand me the phone? Hello, and
okay. Well, that's
hello.
odd. That's odd.
You,
But
you get what I'm saying? He
y-
wasn't. He wasn't as fluid as you would think somebody who found out all
yeah,
this stuff as the others were. So this guy had the phone for whatever reason. He just got handed the phone and said, here, talk to the 911 operator. And then he's like, well, she doesn't want to talk to me. She wants to talk to one of y'all. Then Dylan got the phone back and then she
hmm
started talking again. So
hmm
that guy was very kind of like, you know, not very
nonchalant,
reliable.
like
Yeah, not very reliable.
nonchalantly
Yeah,
speaking. Yeah, that. Yeah, I would get that. Like I'll probably hear that too, and I'll be able to say, "Oh yeah, that's so nonchalant. Like what the hell's going
yeah,
on?"
yeah.
But mm,
He'd be right here. The lights would be behind him. I mean, you're an expert on, not an expert, but you know more about lighting than a normal guy. So if
Yeah.
those lights were beaming in, would they be going forward or would they be going to the side?
Yeah. I mean, if you think of it like a flashlight, when you hold a flashlight on a path and you're walking on a dark path, the light is cast ahead of you. So this light is going to be from behind him, casting in the direction of, he's traveling. So it would help him. He's not walking into the light and blinded like he does. You'll get to it, but I mean, the good vibes light in his eyes. But so yeah, I think it could be. The other thing too is I hope that when the police arrived, they had their body cams on and were able to document what lights were on, and and hopefully there's no anybody that came into the house before the police got there didn't turn on or turn off any lights. But
And as we found
mm,
out, they did have their body cams on. You
they
know,
did. Mm,
the police did.
good.
In one of the documents, they were trying to get all these. They were trying to get those police cams taken out. Because they're trying to get a lot of the evidence taken out, whatever could have been on those body cams. So those body cams were on.
Hmm.
Yeah,
I want to see those.
yeah,
I really want to
yeah,
see everything. Like,
Yeah, I mean, because if he's standing right here, I don't know if y'all can see this little hand, but obviously that light would have been projecting enough probably for him to see the doorway here and maybe up the staircase. I mean, and he'd been casing the house all those times. He would have known, the back of the house layout, you would thought.
I think too. If you well, yeah, the light would be
mm,
coming through the kitchen window where the table. There's no table there.
Okay, so
Hmm.
there is supposedly the crack in the door. They're at the blind corner again. The individual would have been going this direction.
Hmm.
And people often ask, well, why didn't he mess with Dylan? Because this isn't, I mean, even if you're glancing this way, it's not a full on, you got a mask on, you got a stuff covering your face like this. You
Hmm.
just killed four people. Do you think he's strolling through the house like, oh, I'm just going to take a stroll and look around everywhere to see my surroundings? He's trying to get out of there, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, after 4, I think he's a little exhausted. Like, but yeah, absolutely. I don't think he would have went up. He looked at her, maybe if he saw her or not, maybe not. And if it is Brian, then Brian, what, had visual snow, they're saying, like, and he even talked about it in his little post in 2011 or whenever that was, that like
Yeah.
that thing. So, it's possible that he just like had tunnel vision and got the fuck out of there,
Yeah.
Um,
And also, it was brought in the court hearings where um, Ann Taylor was saying something about one of the victims ran down the stairs and then back up the stairs.
mhm,
Supposedly,
mhm,
that's whenever she said someone's here, and that's when Dylan heard that. But I
right.
don't know how real that is. I mean, it makes sense. It really does. I
It
mean,
does.
if Kaylee would have been coming in from walking or maybe letting the dog out and then seeing him walking towards and ran inside and the dog went downstairs and then the dog ran back up, she ran down to get him, he runs back up, she runs back up, someone's here, maybe that's
Yeah.
when he goes into Maddie's room.
Yeah. I don't even know anymore with Murphy. I can't even like think of a theory or anything in regards to Murphy at
Right.
all. I just don't understand that whole bit anymore. Like, I could understand if they left him in the room, Kaylee's room, the door was closed. Kaylee closed the door when she maybe went towards Maddie to go see what was going on in Maddie's room. And maybe
Hmm.
that's when, she got caught in the mix. And then, but I thought because you can see her bed being draped over, like she got out. And then, well, I thought maybe my theory was that she just closed the door, left Murphy in there, and he was in there the entire time,
Right.
and but then the whole door being open, that's messing me all the way up. So I just don't know if that's even accurate. Like,
I mean, it's just interesting to me that people claim that she would have seen him exiting, which wouldn't have been
no, she wouldn't have. She,
feasible with this blind corner right here.
no, for
Like
all
I
she
said,
knew,
this
he just stayed
camera,
in the kitchen.
yeah.
But
I mean,
no.
because this camera view is like Jeff said earlier in this video. He said it's kind of panoramic where it's
Hmm.
spreading everything out, widening it out. So this isn't even accurate
No,
because
it's
it's
not the right
widening.
angle.
Yeah. So she's standing there. She's in a frozen shock phase, like, oh damn, what was that?
Hmm. Yeah.
Sees him walking by, not crawling by, not, just skipping by.
Hmm.
He was heading out of there, I'm sure, with a man on a mission.
Yep. Oh yeah. Well, what, 9? How long? 9 minutes. 9 minutes
Hmm.
supposedly to do this all.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. No,
And then the
there was
PP,
something.
it says he didn't speak to her, she didn't recognize him.
Right.
So there was no verbal exchange. It was almost like a glance. And who's to say that he actually looked over there, like looked?
Yeah, he
You
may
know,
not have
he's
seen, like I said, tunnel vision. Maybe he just like
yeah.
he didn't really see her at all.
I mean, plus if we're talking about the lights from the patio shining in,
Hmm.
she would have seen some characteristics because that light from the patio would have illuminated the front of his body. She would have been able to see the bushy eyebrow.
Yep.
People are
And
saying, well, how could she have seen it? It was dark. There's no way she could have saw it.
Well, it
Well,
wasn't that dark because
there was
they even mentioned in the document the kitchen lights might have been on. The twinkle lights might have been on in the latest documents. So
yeah,
there was some light
There
in
in
there.
this 3D model, but where that little square table was, lights were going to be coming through there. Lights going to be coming through the sliding glass door. So I think there's probably enough light to see stuff, but he's coming in on the second floor. And if his goal is to get to the window he sees on the top floor, the third floor, all he's really got to do is go in and look for the first set of stairs going up. And
Right.
as you come in that door, it's almost like it guides you. I don't know if you've ever done like laser tag, in a place, it's basically guides you along. You go where you're supposed to go. You don't.
Right.
I
So
mean,
let's
it could have gone
do it.
left, sure, but I think he's looking for steps going up.
Right. Let's do a couple different scenarios, okay? Let's go.
before I go into that,
Mhm.
what do you think about the step argument that people have thrown out there? Have you heard those step arguments?
No, I haven't.
Okay. So if this individual was on this step and she
Mhm.
saw him and she's 5'10" or around that height range, then there's no way he could have been a 5'10" standing on the step because it's a 6-inch step. Now, I don't know where they get 6 inches. This doesn't look 6 inches to me. Even though the camera's spread out, it still
What
does not look 6 inches to me. That looks like
what's
4.
what's the
Like a
measurement of an average step? Like
that looks like a 2 by
anybody
4.
check? Can somebody check that with a measuring tape on a step somewhere?
Right,
Let us
right.
know how many inches that is because they're all average, they're all the same. So, but yeah, if she's saying it's 5'10" or 5'10" or 6 feet, let's say, and then the step is like 4 inches, let's say. Well, then what? I said
Right.
a 5'10". Yeah, you'd be 5'10".
Well,
6
maybe
inches.
that's where the 5'10" or taller came from when,
Yeah,
he
maybe.
stepped off the step. That's when she actually got a good look at him, not up here. I don't know why people are thinking that everything that was seen was done up here in the living room. I believe
Mhm.
that, Occam's razor says the most probable thing would have been that she would have seen him as he was passing by her door.
Like right there, like where the Latin footprint is. That's where I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Not up on the step either.
Because it
I
would have
mean,
taken her a couple seconds to open that door and seen
she'd
him
have to
walking
poke her
by.
head out too, more than
Right.
likely. And then that wouldn't be good because then he would
And
have seen
people
her
are
and
like,
gone,
well, why would she open that door for the third time?
right.
Well, you know what? Maybe she heard footsteps and was wondering if somebody was walking by.
Hmm.
Because as we've heard in other videos, this house is fairly loud with people walking in
Hmm.
it. Do you get what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Yes. Some past people that lived there said it was creaky. So,
Yeah. I mean, so think about that. I don't believe that she saw him up here based on the documents and what I've read. I believe that she saw him in passing heading out to the slider and the lights from the patio illuminated just enough for her to see the eyebrow.
I agree with
That is
that.
my theory. You can
I
you can
agree with
come at
that.
me. You can come at me. You can do
No, no. I
but
agree with
I mean,
that because I thought,
that makes sense to me.
yeah, it does to me too. Because I didn't, you know what? And in the passing of them seeing each other, I never once thought he was up there myself. I've never really thought about it. But if I were to, like, yeah, and I've always envisioned him right in front of her door, right,
Right.
like, and yeah. But the sliding glass door, see, that's where whenever Dylan, when we thought she was on the first floor, um, to me, his entry point would have been Dylan's bedroom window because it's dark be at her bedroom window outside. There's like
Here's
no
a,
light.
here's a better shot of it.
Yeah.
If her door is cracked, there is a doorway right here
Hmm.
and right here for this doorway. Look how wide that is, and I'm pretty certain that it's just as wide right here. If she barely has it cracked open, I'm sure that this obscures her vision a little bit. Okay?
Yes, it
So
would. Yeah.
it only makes sense that you catch the guy coming off the step in eyesight right here.
Hmm. I agree. That's where she would see the bushy eyebrows. She wouldn't
Yeah,
see them from up there,
right. Let's see
in my
what
opinion.
probably why she said 5'10" or taller. If on upper step, 6-footed, she saw him on a lower step, he was taller. That
Hmm.
makes perfect sense.
Yes, I agree.
Perfect sense. I mean, yeah, I like that comment as well. How about this happened in real time and fast?
Yeah,
Exactly. Like I said, this did not happen with him in slow motion walking like a robot.
absolutely not.
If you have you ever, I don't know if you live in a house, an apartment, it doesn't matter. If you've ever lived in an apartment and there's noise outside and you crack your door open, most often than not, you're seeing the person you see them from the back. You might get lucky and catch their front, but if they're running down the hallway, whether it be kids, whether it be adult, chances are you catch them in passing, yes or no.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
So if this is happening as quick, I'm not saying he's running, but I'm saying he's probably traveling at a at a pretty hefty speed. And he probably has a long stride. So he's not just hanging out here saying, okay, look at me, look at me. Okay, you didn't get a chance to look at me. Okay, I'm going to walk by really slow. Look
Hmm.
at me here.
Hmm. Hmm.
No, it's
Yep.
not.
Oh no, he's definitely not walking chill, like just strutting. He's definitely walking on a mission to get the fuck out of there. Like,
Right, right. Plus, if
but
she's drunk, she's seeing doubles. Well, I don't know about seeing doubles. I mean, I've been drunk and I've never really seen doubles.
I
I mean,
have.
but have you?
I have.
Have
Oh
you?
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I mean, the only time I've ever had any issue being drunk was driving. That's whenever it would be kind of hard to drive. But as far as just looking at somebody, I mean, we don't know how intoxicated she was. We
Yeah.
really don't.
Especially
But
when you mix the weed and the alcohol, like I have a
right,
lot. Yeah, that then you're like your eyes are like, ooh, especially if you're smoking indica, you're like, ooh, and then like you're drunk and it's like, oh yeah, you're seeing doubles real fast.
okay, well that
But
makes sense.
Let's
but
go.
yeah.
Let's go this way first, okay? Into the living room.
Mm.
So he would have been coming from the.
Okay, so if we're looking at this and the individual is coming this way, so you can't even see the door cracked, and
Nope.
this is just looking through this area.
Yep. Absolutely not. You can't see
So
anything.
if she did see him up here, it would be very not visible to see the whole person,
Hmm.
possibly just seeing half of him. And if he was holding whatever he was holding in the right hand or left hand. If it was the left hand, I'm sure she didn't see it until he passed her right here.
He's a righty, I heard. If we're going with Brian Koberger, yeah. So he's a righty. So he would have been holding it more likely in the right.
Right, right,
But from this angle, see if I don't know really the house layout all that much, let's say, like I don't know it off by heart, I could be walking this direction towards the sliding back door and not even know there's a door there. Because
right.
look at it, it looks like you can hardly see the door frame.
Well, also, this door was shut. This is a little closet right here.
Yep. Hmm.
Why would he think this would be a bedroom? I mean, honestly, could this be a closet as well? Could it be a bathroom? Could it be where the washer and dryer is? I mean, if he's
Yeah.
never been in this room, I mean, if he's been in the house and he's been able to go all over the house, then he probably knew this was a bedroom.
He
But if
probably
this
did
is
too. If he's watching the house, okay. If we're going that theory, because I know some people don't agree with the fact that he was like watching the house, but if he was watching the house from the back, let's say back behind 500 Queen, the parking lot there, and he was watching, he would see Dylan's room. He would know that that's a room
yes, yes.
as well.
So I mean, in theory, chances are he didn't give a shit at this point.
Right.
At this
I agree.
point, time was running out. If she did see him, he probably thought, man, she's about to call the cops. I need to get the hell out of here. Case closed. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
all that other stuff about, stopping and staring and, he was exhausted. He was drenched in blood and all this. Why wasn't there blood everywhere in the living room? Well, we don't know.
We don't know. I
As
was
far
just going
as
to say that.
the
We don't
photos
know.
the photos that we've seen that were through this
They,
front window.
they spend a lot of time right there where
Yeah,
where
right
you
here.
are right now. Yep.
Right
They spent
here.
a lot of time right there.
So was there blood droplets here that was
I think there
left
was
along
more
the
than
way? Was there
droplets.
any kind of fabrics left? Was there, was there any kind of evidence that was left in that area? Because there was a lot of people in this area in white,
Yeah, with the luminol and stuff. Yeah.
The slider into the living room. And as you stated, this good vibe.
And so also I want to talk on the situation of her leaving her room and going downstairs. They said if Xana's door was open and Xana was in the doorway right there, how did she not see her?
I did a video on TikTok yesterday just about this very same thing.
Well,
And my theory on that.
Talk to me about it.
That I theorized that because you see how from her room to the stairway, it's like a straight line. So if she's booting it, okay, she's not going to turn her head. Like I would just be booting it. Like I just look like in front of me, go downstairs. So and then, but that wall right here is a half wall, right? So she's standing on top of the stairs. And she just so happens to look forward and to the left a little bit towards Xana's room. Yes, she would probably see something. You know what I mean? Like
I
if
like
she's
that. I could dig that. But
but
also,
she may
Sonia,
not.
a
She
door
may not.
being open to you,
Mhm.
a lot of people are thinking that door was open this wide. This door could have been opened and barely cracked.
It could have
If
been
you
open the
wouldn't have
whole
been
way. Yeah.
Nowhere has it said the door was open the whole way.
No, I don't know, but they said it
The
was
door was
closed shut,
open.
right?
But if we're being logical here, this door is open. It could have been shut to the point where she couldn't have seen Xana on the floor. She didn't see nothing but the door cracked.
Right,
Not
absolutely.
cracked like her door, but closed more where, you know.
But they said it was blocked, right? Like they said it was. So I'm assuming it was closed because there's somebody supposedly like in front, like blocking it. Like, but I don't. It would have to be Xana because if Ethan was not, he was on the bed. But
Right.
And there's that little circle. They're saying that's where Xana was, right? So
Right.
yeah, but so she probably was behind the door. They probably, but I don't know how the killer would like get out of the room.
I mean, we were
If
told
he's closing,
that Ethan was right here, and that's not right.
I don't think Ethan was there.
No,
Ethan,
that's what we were told in the very beginning. There was a lot of conspiracy that Ethan was found in the doorway right here, half in, half out.
I'm sorry. Well, I don't think so. I think he was on the bed or on the side of in between the bed and the wall where the blood from outside was.
Yeah, I believe that's true as well, PKC. But I'm glad that that's been set to rest. That he wasn't blocking the door. I'm glad that's been set to rest.
Good, but do we know if it was open or not?
And this is the luxury we have. This is possibly the view that the.
Okay, so if it looks like this, she's coming out of her room, and you're trying to get your bearings. You know where the stairs are. Are you going to take the time to look over here?
No, I wouldn't. I would have just kept going. I would have booted it. Like I would have booted it downstairs without looking. But when I do my TikToks, I always do. But what if, I do that a lot. But what if she was actually on top of the stairs and just happened to look forward? I don't think she did that because I would have been booting it. But I always think of multiple angles of different things, and that's what I base my content on, is just looking at it different angles. But no, if I was her, I would have been in Bethany's room within like 10
Now,
seconds.
now, if the light was left on, I
Hmm.
could possibly see that. But if it was dark like this,
No,
I
I think
mean,
it's
who?
dark.
I don't think the light was on, but I mean, I'm just throwing all this stuff out there. But I don't believe that the light was on.
Mm-mm.
I
I
don't
think the
have
lights were off.
any reason why. Like she said, everybody was either in their room or in bed.
Hmm.
So, what would you have been doing? You would have been doing multiple things in a dark room, right?
Yeah, maybe he had like a little. Well, I don't know why it's the first time I ever think of that. Maybe he had a little light on him, something like attached to
Yeah.
him. Like,
Yeah. And if Xana was wearing black, I don't think she could see anything.
right. Yeah. Oh no, she wouldn't have been. And
Right. I
when
mean,
you're
if she was
panicked,
wearing
people.
black, let's say she was just wearing a black jersey. She was wearing the jersey that she did the video in, the Pittsburgh Steelers jersey. That jersey is all black with yellow on it.
Hmm. Hmm.
And you sure as hell couldn't see any blood if
No,
you're going by here at such a fast pace.
no, definitely not. I don't think she
Perpetrator
would. She
saw
saw
that night.
anything.
That's if this light was on. You know what I mean?
See, that
You
light
hear me,
should have
Jeff?
been off.
Hmm. Hmm.
You're on mute.
I'm sorry. Sorry about that. Yeah, no, that's right. The good vibe. Actually, there's a photo of from the outside with the handprint on the window where I think you get a pretty good sense of how bright that good vibes light is, because it's a photo taken at night, and I think
Right.
that's the only light that's lit. So
So if he would have came in, there would have been illumination from the outside porch right here. And the lighting probably would have been bouncing off this wall a little bit, plus this good vibes sign. So the individual walks this way, sees the bedroom. Let me see where the little thing is for me to move down there.
You
Let me
can. Oh
turn
yeah,
on
you
the
can.
light.
You're funny. I'll turn on the light.
yeah, that
Okay.
that dark
It's well made.
representation in this 3D model, I think, is a little darker than what it would actually be.
It was well made.
So
Though.
this is
Yeah.
the connecting hallway. And I was always confused. I didn't know where the bathroom was at the very beginning, but this is the bathroom.
Mhm.
So you walk in, there's a shower, there's a sink, and there's a washer and dryer connection. Here's the door. So the shower and everything is to your right. Here's the sink and the
Something that just hit me that I've never thought of until this moment, but does anybody ever do their laundry at 3 a.m.? And does your machine make as much noise as mine does that you wouldn't be able to hear things you might normally be able to hear?
No, Jeff, we've debunked this.
hey, that's
I didn't realize there were a washer and dryer in that bathroom.
Yeah, what if here we go with the what ifs, right?
Yeah, plenty
What
of
if
those.
what if he threw the towel in the sink, got it nice and wet, threw it in the dryer, put it on for an hour, and then just had the washer tumbling? Would have never really heard anything else after that but that tumble of the towel, right?
Well, I was thinking more that the people who live there, one of them would have been maybe thrown their laundry in.
I think I was making that point. Like, have you ever had wet towels in the dryer, and all you hear is that wet towel hitting the side of the dryer?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wouldn't that have made so much noise you couldn't have heard anything else?
Oh yeah, for sure. Or if there was a zipper, a sweater with a zipper or something, that would have made noise too. Good point.
I mean, I didn't even realize I said that, but that does make, because people are like, they heard everything. They would have heard everything. Well, I mean, if you threw a wet towel in the freaking dryer and turned it on for an hour, you wouldn't have heard anything but
Mhm,
that
mhm.
cow bouncing around the dryer.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just speculation, but
hmm I'm a big
me and,
fan of what ifs.
yeah, yeah. Me and Jeff go into a weird theory here in a minute, so let me kind of speed it up a little bit and get into the room because he's talking about doing laundry and stuff. So it just
Closet area, because a lot of people I don't think have ever really noticed the closet area right there. That's a perfect place for anybody to hide, especially if she came out. Okay, let's do the timeline here because that's essential in this whole thing. DoorDash was delivered around 4-ish, right? So 4-ish, she goes down, either grabs the DoorDash, comes back up. As soon as she grabbed the DoorDash, didn't after she grabbed the DoorDash, didn't she say there's someone here?
Well, yeah, the PCA says that it could be Kaylee perhaps saying that, or Xana. There's
okay. So 4 a.m. ish, the DoorDash is delivered,
hmm
and then there's someone here. I don't think they were simultaneous. I mean, on the Linda Lane footage, obviously we see the final pass at 4:07, 32, I think, somewhere around there. So he would have gotten into the house probably 4:08, 4:09. So that's still almost long enough to get the DoorDash and get back to your room, I would think, unless she went into the kitchen. But there's never been any mention of that. So let's just go with
Right.
the most logical thing would have been she took the DoorDash back into her room.
That's
So
what I thought.
So she's in her room, and then the killer entered the residence 4:08, 4:09, instantly goes upstairs. And that's whenever, probably a minute or two, that's when Dylan hears Kaylee supposedly playing with the dog.
Right.
So the killer entered the residence, and then it starts happening.
someone here. It does make sense that there's someone here. There's a DoorDash order here. There's someone here also makes sense if it's Kaylee. The dog has alerted Kaylee to someone across the hall, and she's
Right.
walking across the hall, and that's what Dylan hears. There's someone
Okay,
here.
so what I'm saying is this is okay. She got the DoorDash order. She's walking back into her room. By that point, the killer would have already supposedly been in the house 7 minutes after, right? So she would have already been in her room. So that would have been quite a bit of time for Ethan to be out of that room. You know what I mean? So he could have been showering. He could have, there could have been anything happening before he entered back into the room.
Well, that's contradicting now. I mean, I don't believe he ever left the room. I believe he was probably asleep on the bed, and he was in the bed when he was ambushed, or he tried to get up out of the bed, ambushed, and there's been a lot of speculation at which side of the bed he was on, seeing that most of the blood was on the right-hand side of the bed. Would it be
Like
more
between that little dot there, like that dot beside the bed and the wall. That's where I envision him, around there.
right here?
No, the other side. The dot on the
Here?
floor. Yeah.
Yeah. So he possibly would have been on this side of the bed, while Xana would have been on this side. He probably got ambushed, maybe set up long enough. Maybe the killer, maybe Xana was right here eating. She maybe got cut. She fell over. He attacked Ethan, did what he did. He stood up a little bit, fell over. He left the room.
She
But he
had
can't. He had to come back.
vanity there.
He had to come back.
Well, did he have to come back? Why? I don't
because
know.
the 417, they heard the thud, the dog barking.
See, vanity. Xana had a vanity right at the window, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, and a black rug at the end of her bed. And I think she was eating. If she was eating her meal, I think she was sitting at her vanity
Oh,
and
good
eating it.
point. Good point. Good
You
point.
know, so Ethan could have been
Yeah.
in bed, but she was probably sitting at her vanity and eating because it's a table,
Oh,
basically.
I never thought of that. That is a great point.
I just thought of that
Here.
actually just now. I'm not even lying. I just thought of it because, like, now that I'm looking at this, I know the layout of her room more.
Yeah.
And so I think she was sitting there, and that makes sense why she was found where that little X is on the
Yeah.
floor, because maybe the person came into the room and she ran towards him. That's maybe how she got her defensive wounds. Oh my gosh. Um,
Or even if she stayed over here and he started attacking Ethan first,
I
she could have tried
yeah.
to jump on him,
Yeah, that's possible as well.
and he threw her off or, stabbed
Mhm.
her a couple times or whatever.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
Because
That's
I,
true.
I feel he took Ethan out first.
Yes.
That's
Yeah, it
more
makes more
that's
sense.
logical to me.
More sense, yeah.
And like they have always said, there was a hell of a battle going on. So if Dana was fighting him, he's fighting her while trying to, kill Ethan. And then he gets done with Ethan and take care of her. That's the thud that you hear, and he exits the door.
Unless it was so quick and so violent that unless it was Xana that ran towards the door and then he took her life, and then Ethan, like, maybe Ethan was sleeping and he woke up and then he got startled up and then the guy took Ethan last. Because why is Ethan's part redacted? Like, there was a lot going on with Ethan. I think,
Right.
based on the fact that his whole part is redacted.
I mean, it's only logical that the individual would have came in here and got the mail first.
Not
And
if he
most
doesn't know he's there, though. What if he was going for Xana? So he was like, what if Ethan wasn't supposed to be there? So if he probably, I don't know. I'm like thinking now, like thinking she was at the vanity, unfortunately. And
you're thinking too much into it, but the vanity thing makes a hell of a lot of sense. I agree with that. I agree with that wholeheartedly.
yeah, yeah, that's my intuitive side, like kicking in my gut talk there. So I'm like, oh well,
Yeah, I wouldn't. I have never even thought about that vanity, but you're right. It's over here against this wall.
yeah, yeah,
It makes sense that she probably would have been eating on TikTok,
right there. And
and
while Ethan's in bed.
Ethan's in bed. Yeah,
Hmm.
and she possibly could have screamed when she saw him. Ethan
Hmm.
jumped up.
Oh yes,
Well, they could have both been
that
fighting
makes
him.
more
We don't
sense than
know.
my
We don't
theory.
know.
Yeah. Oh my god, I don't want to know the truth on this actually.
Yeah, because I mean, aren't you going to yell for your boyfriend if you see a stranger walking in with a knife
Absolutely.
or with a mask or whatever? Aren't you going to scream for your boyfriend, or are you going to take him on?
Yeah.
I
No,
know
no,
my girlfriend. She's
absolutely.
going to be like, "Get your ass up, protect me."
No, no, no.
Hey, get your ass up.
Yeah, yeah, that would have been a no. That
Yeah,
would have been a crazy scene for sure. Oh,
get up, protect me.
yeah.
You could have even grabbed his leg and said, "Ethan, get up."
Yeah.
And he jumps up and like, "What the hell?" And they both, he does what he does to Ethan. He falls back
Yeah.
because I did a video where this guy got stabbed in the neck, and he
Who?
felt he
Ethan. Oh,
walked.
another
He,
guy?
huh?
Who got stabbed in the neck? Ethan? No.
No, this video.
Okay.
I mean, it's been speculated that he got stabbed in the neck. That's why he went down so fast. But this
Well,
guy that got stabbed in the neck tried to go forward, but he ended up walking backwards and he fell backwards into his side. So I see that possibly happened to Ethan.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And at that point, Xana was probably grabbing his arm to keep him from stabbing her boyfriend. Doesn't that make sense? You're going to try to protect your boyfriend?
Yeah.
Doesn't
Absolutely.
that make sense?
Yes. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yep. And that closet, anybody can be hiding in there. Yeah.
But maybe
Just
that's
her
why there
screaming would have
wasn't.
been enough.
Maybe that's why there wasn't a scream. Maybe that's why the whimpering that Dylan heard was not necessarily Xana being injured at that point. Could have been her trying to help him. She gets thrown to the ground and she's seeing what he's doing to her boyfriend. And then he turns on her. It's okay. I'm going to
I'm
help
going to
you.
help you. Yes. Yes. That makes a lot of sense.
And
Oh,
then he
Jesus.
take care of her the way he
Yeah.
did. And
Yeah.
then he leaves. As we saw in the previous.
Mm-hmm.
Let me fast forward this out of.
And it didn't take long. It really didn't take long for that to finish. So do you think he went to Kaylee and Maddie first, or do you think he did Xana and Ethan first?
I think he went to Kaylee and Maddie first.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're back in the living room at this point. So he's exiting at this point.
These things were always on, and plus Maddie's room had a lot of lights in there too.
Mhm.
Yeah, each one of them had like Christmas lights hanging
Right.
around them. Yeah.
Yeah. That TikTok
Oh.
video is one that shows how lit up it really was.
Yeah. So it
Let
would
me see if I
have,
can find that for you.
I mean, because I believe as well as what you're saying is we've always thought, at least the majority of people I've talked to have always thought it was really dark
No.
walking through this living room. You know what I mean? It's easy to believe that. It's easy to believe that though.
Yeah, but
You know?
those ladies, I shouldn't say girls, those women made a lot of TikToks in that house. And it was anybody could see it. They don't need a map of the house, basically, even from it.
Right. This thing
Um,
just keeps teleporting you downstairs on some of the little arrows.
I did miss some of what Jeff was saying when I was in at the back room there trying to get in, but so
You
I don't
didn't
know.
miss much. It's just Jeff.
So as far as, let's talk about sweeping the house. Let's say you're not military, but yet you know enough to.
Okay, let's not go through all that right now. This is a perfect example of how close. This is the closet that's in the kitchen area.
Yeah.
I guess the utility closet. So Dylan's room would be right around this corner.
Right.
See, so it's not all lined, but it is a beeline, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're standing right here, this is what you see.
Yeah.
So
Which is not much.
by this point, she's tall. I'm sure she has a good stride on her,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So if she's walking fast, she's not looking down the hall, wondering what the hell is going on. She's trying to get down these stairs.
Right. She's bolting it for sure. Like, in my opinion, she's definitely bolting it. She's not like strolling down.
Well, I wouldn't think
Mm-mm.
so.
Mm-mm.
I wouldn't
No.
think so.
No, no, no.
I wouldn't think so.
But then they go downstairs. She goes downstairs, and then
Right.
she stays in Bethany's room, I guess, for the remaining of the evening.
Yeah.
Cover the potential danger spots, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because as he came in through the slider, you're gonna try to find all the hidden areas to protect you from getting caught off guard, correct?
could
Yeah,
walk on the stairs,
we're
hugging the
going
wall,
crazy
because
with
that's
we're going crazy with theories on this night. We really had a lot of things going on. I was sounding like Barry White and Jeff and
It's hard
Tom
not.
were
It's hard not to have theories though when there's a gag order.
yeah. So I played this video to
Yep.
give some reference. Everybody's
Mhm.
seen it, I'm sure.
Yes. Yes.
Listen to how loud the house is.
God, it smells like dirty dick in here. Murphy, you've been a bad boy. Oh my God, it's 9:10. Guys, can anybody drop me class? I'm fucking late for my meeting. I'm supposed to be there 10 minutes ago. Did anybody do their chores today? Fuck, I'm just gonna do it.
now see that wall.
Oh shit, you guys, it's 8.
Okay, that wall right there with the
Mhm. Twinkle.
shades
Yeah.
had all those lights right there. So if those lights were on, those were what'd you call them earlier? Twinkle lights?
Yeah. Twinkle lights. Yeah. Like fairy lights. Yeah.
Yeah. So if those were on,
Hmm.
and the good vibes light was on, that would have illuminated a little bit of this room, I believe.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
then the light a little bit in the kitchen that would have illuminated enough to see a little bit. You might not be able to. We have to remember that everything that was seen was done in an instant. It's not like she was standing at the door videotaping frame by frame, second by second. It was
Mm-hmm.
done very fast, very quick.
Right. Oh yes, absolutely. Oh my gosh. He
So,
did. He's on whoever it was, if it was Brian, he went in there on a mission to do whatever what he did and for what reason. That's still the unknown.
yeah.
Gotta go, taste con. Oh, taste con.
That's a lot of light.
Oh my God, I look
There is a lot of
horrid.
light.
Oh, Murphy, you look so cute. Just get out of here. You seriously gotta get out of here. You're fucking stupid as shit. Hey guys, I know I talk about myself a lot, but like, what would you guys do in my situation? Yeah, where are you going? Yeah, I gotta go.
So listen how they're talking. They're not yelling.
You're talking normal, but it's very echoey.
Right. So when people say, how could she have not heard screaming and whatever, but she heard all this other stuff?
Yeah.
You would have heard whimpering. You would have
Would
heard,
Mm-hmm.
it's okay, I'm going to help you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's a lot that they heard that we still don't know what was. And I think a lot of those text messages were also like redacted as well as the document
Yeah.
said it was redacted. So there's a lot of those text messages that we don't see. I think more the gruesome things and what was heard like word for word. If they type that much, I don't know, but I think there's a lot that's redacted from those texts.
Right. JB, the answer to your question, yes, Gray Hughes was talking about that. And the only reason I don't want to show his video so quickly is because he just did it a couple of hours ago. And I don't want to, I don't want to get a strike or anything. I don't know if he'd do that, but I don't want to chance it. You know what I mean? And that's why I'm not showing Daniels either, because they just did it. It just came out today. So I don't want to do that to them. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I failed two of them already. You like a Monday night? Like, let's just do a Monday.
Okay, so what you're saying is those lights right here in the background.
They were on when forensic Idaho State Police forensics team was there. Those were always on through the window when reporters were filming, them inside working. So that light would be on, and that would illuminate the living room much more than the Good Signs vibe.
Okay.
Hey, 12 Gage, I've got the video here too. Same video, but if you wanted to watch it in slow-mo or pause it, I've got it here for you.
Sure.
So,
Right.
So here's another outline of the. Obviously, they don't have the
Twinkle lights there.
Saturdays are for the girls right here. There's a big
Mhm.
old flag, and the lights would have been right here. It looks like the couch was in this area at that point where they were doing that video.
No, I think it was pretty placed like that, just exactly like that. The wall beside the TV to the right, that's where the lights are.
Okay.
That at the back
I
of
thought the couch was right here because
the
the lights
couch. I
were
think how they have it on this diagram is the way.
okay.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. Maybe you're right. But I like what you said about the banister in Xana's room. That makes a lot more sense than her eating in bed. I think a lot of people have thought that she was eating in bed. You know what I mean?
I honestly never put any thought into it until just now. Like honestly, and whenever I really looked at that, I'm like, well, if she's eating, I wouldn't be eating in bed. I'd be sitting on my vanity because it's a table. So
And somebody asked about the Jack in the Box earlier. I
yeah,
don't believe that was the bag because when it comes to evidence, they tag and bag it instantly. You wouldn't be seeing that
on a
Jack in the
picture.
Box bag on back there by the sink. I don't believe that was the bag. I believe that was probably another bag, but I could
Me
be wrong.
too. I think whatever she ordered was in the bedroom.
Yeah. But once again, if Dylan is waiting for the killer to leave and she comes out of her room, there's a straight shot because there's the
The
corner of the
banister.
stairs.
Hmm.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah, it's a straight shot right through, right there. She doesn't even have to look to the left. She just goes straight down to Bethany's room.
And you know why people assume that she would have looked that way? Because they're assuming that she knew that there was murders going on in the house.
No, she.
We
I
know
don't.
otherwise. We know otherwise. Those text messages, the 911 call doesn't mention anything like that. All it mentions is what she saw. It doesn't really mention what she heard. It just mentions what she saw.
I'm just glad that the killer wasn't there when she was running out of her room, going downstairs, and stopped her in her tracks and did the same
Yeah,
thing that they did to the rest of them. Like I
right.
was just like, I'm like, holy shit! Like I think going down to Bethany's room might have saved her too. I did a TikTok yesterday as well, about that because if she would have like the fact that she bolted downstairs, I think I even posted it on YouTube, but she bolted downstairs, and what if like whenever she saw the killer, he turned and did whatever, but then he was going to come back for her, perhaps if he did see her, right? If he did see her too, then maybe he was going to come back and then well, she had bolted to Bethany's room by then.
Right. Because Sonia, you're hearing she's right here. She wakes these three times. She's out of it. Not really certain what she's hearing, but she heard it. She sees a guy walk by she doesn't recognize. She tries to get a visual. She remembers as much as possible. She's not thinking my roommate just got murdered by this guy. She's thinking, I'm freaking scared.
Hmm.
I'm
Yeah,
going downstairs to Bethany.
right.
Bethany says, get out here now. Run. My phone's about to die. Why would she stick around if her phone's about to die? She's going to be trapped up here in
Hmm.
her room by herself with a dead phone?
Hmm. Yeah, and ever since the new documents came out and whatnot, I felt like I said at first I always thought Dylan was suspicious, like kinda,
Mhm.
like I was like, more towards the fact she was suspicious until the text, until the 911, and I'm just no, like now I just think really she was just bolting it, and I think she's very lucky because she was right on that level. He could have seen her at any time and did the same to her if he would have seen her. Even one of the
Exactly.
3 times that she opened her doors, she's very lucky. And if I go spiritually, she had angels watching her, like over her
Right.
at night.
Exactly.
So,
And this is Maddie's room right here. This is the bathroom upstairs. This
mhm,
is
mhm,
the long staircase, and then you wind around, and then there's the other one, and you
mhm,
walk under, and there's the back slider back here. This is
right.
Kay's room.
Kaylee's room, yeah.
So, I believe he came up here first, whether Kaylee's door was open or whether it wasn't. Maybe Kaylee was already in Maddie's room, as they said. Maybe she wasn't even in her room. Maybe the dog was in here, or maybe the dog was in the room
I think
by
the dog was
himself.
in Kaylee's room.
Yeah. I mean, so Kaylee and Maddie were in this room. The dog was probably sleeping on the bed, or, if he was in his kennel, he would have been in the room.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
the killer came in, the same scenario probably. He probably started attacking Maddie first. Kaylee probably jumped on him, did what she did as well as
Mhm.
possible. That's
Yep.
probably why the wounds were a lot more severe with her.
Yeah, he's pissed off. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
because she's trying to protect her friend.
Absolutely.
She's
Yeah.
not in a frozen shock phase. She is protecting her friend, just like Xana was
Hmm.
protecting her boyfriend.
Yeah.
Her fight or flight kicked in. She was protecting the person next to her.
Right. And she also probably was a big help. Like I think the Gonzalez's even said that, she probably helped solve her own case because of the fact that she probably fought him so hard that, she took off the sheath off of him. Maybe not knowing, but that's probably how that happened. And it makes sense. Like if she's fighting him, like you're saying, and I always thought that too, that she tried to defend Maddie. Um, and maybe in doing that, the struggle, the sheath came off, and that's how it came off.
Because, very early on, probably about, I don't know, a month, maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks, when we started hearing about the wounds,
Mm-hmm.
we heard that one of the girls had it. I mean, I know this is speculation, but I read and I heard that one of the girls was almost decapitated. That
I've
the
heard that too, and this is
that
just
the that
recent.
the knife wound was so deep that she was almost decapitated. So I would have thought that that was Maddie. That would have been the first person attacked.
Mm-hmm. And
I
who
mean,
said this? Where did that start from? Because I've heard this recently, but I don't know where it started from.
I don't remember where I heard it. If it was News Nation, if it was Daily Mail, I don't know
Wow.
where exactly I heard it. But they were saying that she was almost decapitated,
Okay.
and I don't know. I've heard that somewhere. It might not even be true. So
I heard Xana's fingers were cut off. I heard that,
they
but
were almost. They were almost. They were so
mm-hmm.
severe that they
Mm-hmm.
were almost severed. I've
Yeah,
heard that as well. But
that
think
was
of
on
it like
News Nation then, because I heard the
no.
finger part on News Nation, but the decapitated, just heard that recently. I didn't know
But
about their wound.
think about this though. It's the same scenario that happened downstairs. So there was two people in the room. Who are you going to take out first? You're going to take out the one closest to the furthest from you.
Mm-hmm.
And the one that's closest to you, then you're going to have one-on-one. Chances are Maddie was asleep, the same thing as Ethan. They would have been asleep, so they would have been easier to take out. He takes them
Yep.
out or incapacitate them and then deals with the person that's awake. In this case, it would have been Kaylee. So she has the most vicious wound because it took her longer to succumb to her injuries. The same thing is downstairs. So we take care of these two, goes downstairs, does the same MO down there. So
Mm. Yeah.
it's
Hmm.
very telling.
I just don't know if Maddie was like asleep, because not long prior they were calling Jack nonstop.
Right.
For whatever reason, I have like the 2 a.m. Like what was happening at 2:10? Because the Chapins did say 2 o'clock was a dark hour. So I feel like there's something going on. I don't think they were. And here, yeah, this is a good angle actually, because that wall by the vanity or the desk is cut out now. Well,
Yeah.
before they demolished it, there was
Yeah,
a
they
huge
cut it
chunk of
out.
it. Cut it out. There's something that
So
happened on that vanity or desk.
I mean I would speculate that the same thing happened. She saw him come in or felt somebody come in, woke up,
Mhm.
freaked out, jumped on him. He may have slung her into the wall as she's having him. I mean, if she's really fighting him, there could have
He-
been,
Yeah.
blood slinging around everywhere. As she's trying to either keep him from hurting her friend or killing her, and then she gets tired and he overpowers her. I mean, it's not without reason to see that this couldn't happen.
Right.
You
Right.
get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I think there was definitely that struggle, and I think in the struggle, maybe he threw Kaylee
Yeah.
into that wall, and that's how it ended up either like being busted and having to
Yeah.
be cut out. Um, but then she was
And there could have been
trapped,
they could have been
right?
looking for DNA on the wall
Absolutely, but
of
she was
the
trapped
killer
too between.
or fabrics or anything. I mean, we don't know.
Mhm.
But that makes a lot more sense now that we have a lot of these documents as to what was really going on. And Dylan was calling Xana, texting Maddie, texting Kaylee the next morning. She was calling their phones. I mean, why would you be doing that if you really thought your friends were being murdered?
Right, exactly. It's just very weird.
You get me?
I Out of all of that, I just don't understand how. Like, I know she was going through what she was going through, and as she should. Um, I just feel like I would have gone up myself, but then again, I don't know what I would have done at the time, right? I would have probably stayed put um, in the room. No, I don't know what I would have done. Honestly, it's so hard
Because
to say.
we hear that, or the Gonsalves have stated that Maddie or Kaylee
Kaylee, yeah,
was found in the corner, slumped over.
right.
I've always thought that if she was like somehow thrown off of the killer or somehow was backing off from the killer, you know how you crab walk backwards, and you're kicking your legs trying to get away from this person.
Hmm.
She could have just backed herself into that corner, not even realizing it. You know what I mean?
Yes, yep. I can visualize that. Yep, definitely.
Because people say, well, why didn't she just run out the door when he was attacking Maddie?
It's not a
There
huge space. If the door is open and he's like at the foot of the bed, there's no way she's getting past him.
Right.
There's no way. So what you said makes a lot of sense. Like how she would kick herself back, I know what I'm visualizing it. I can't explain it, but I know
Yeah.
what you mean. And
Like
then she would have.
she wakes up, tried to get this person off her best friend. And she's grabbing him or grabbing his arm, and she's standing, or kneeling on the bed trying to keep him off of her.
Mhm.
They fall back into the
The
sheetrock area
wall.
back there.
Yeah.
There might be blood back there from Maddie. He slings her off. She falls on the bed and starts backtracking. Like I just said, he attacks her.
Mhm.
And during all this struggle, the knife sheath ends up under Maddie.
Yeah. And that's how we know that Maddie was the first one, because the sheath came off right from the beginning.
Does that make sense at all? Or does that sound too
No,
Hollywoodish?
I really, that wall was cut out for a reason. So
What
there's
do you think?
something that happened
What do
there.
y'all think, Chad? Do you think that makes sense, or does that sound too Hollywoodish? Because I'm going as what the documents say, I'm not going with what we've talked about in this live or, our speculations of it and, stuff that we've repeated over time,
Mhm.
because there had to be a reason that walk was cut out.
Yeah.
There's
Blood
something,
splatter,
yeah,
blood.
there's either blood spatter
There
or
was blood all over that wall.
there was,
Even the one
she
behind you.
could have been on him and he backed her into the wall. broke the sheetrock. I mean, you just never know. Maddie's little desk was right there with all her stuff. I mean, you
Yeah.
don't know. Kaylee was injured at that point by being thrown into the wall. You're trying to get this person off of you who's fighting with you. You're not sitting there playing with them. They're trying to hurt you like you're trying to hurt her friend.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Maybe she was trying to take the mask off of him, gouge his eyes, pull his hair. You just don't know. You don't know, but Occam's razor state that if somebody's fighting for their life or they're fighting, they're going to do just about anything to get the upper hand. It's not a fair fight.
Right.
She didn't have a knife, he had a knife. So she's just going to let somebody sit there and stab her friend
No.
and not try to fight him?
No. I think our theory on that is pretty spot on with the being thrown and how she put like on without knowing put herself in the corner there, trapped herself.
I mean, right
Um,
here is where I visualize. This is what I said in this part, I think. A probable cause that is written in a way that shows the
And that's going to solve the crime for them.
right. I also believe, just very quickly, because I don't want to get into that discussion very much, not right now. The kinder that we view this crime, the easier it is for us to say that the wrong man is in jail right now. If you actually put the potentiality of someone going into this home as we're viewing today and killing 4 people and then walking out, getting in their vehicle and taking off, then you'd really be able to manifest in your brain that something tragic did happen. And those smiling faces that you see all over, plastered all over media, are no longer alive. They're no longer smiling. Then you could actually, if only for a second, tell yourself, hey, could he have possibly have done this? You wouldn't need motive. You would just need your analytical thinking to say, I'm going to give myself the benefit of the doubt that this could be the guy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
agree.
don't.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I agree with that too. I don't see it's that. It's is it damaging to Coburger? You know, I mean, the thing is like, if imagine your Coburger, is there part of you that thinks, well, you know, they're talking, they're trying to figure all this out, and they have speculative thoughts, and they're looking at this evidence. At least I've got a beating heart. My heart is still beating. I've got a chance at this. I mean, the victims are gone. Their hearts are.
You can't plan down to all those degrees. You can have says, okay, if somebody screams, I'm going to do this. If somebody does this, I'm going to do that. And Kaylee had more wounds according to the reports Reen have. To me, it's not because she's the target. To me, it's just because she woke up and he had to deal with something he really wasn't prepared for.
Right.
No, I believe as well that, if you were going to hit any of these girls, whoever you viewed as a target, they worked. They went to the university. Crimes are committed anywhere and everywhere. You want to take somebody out, you're going to assault them. You're going to do whatever. You're going to, he could have kidnapped one of them and went and done what he did and, threw her body somewhere and they may have never found him.
Yeah.
The fact that they were in the house means that whoever did this thought it was plausible to contain the environment rather than risk trying to get caught kidnapping or even doing this crime out in the open.
So let me ask you two, if you guys were the killer, for example, what would you do? How would you plan this out?
Here's my theory. Just for the record, I'm not a killer. I've never been a killer. I'm not
Thank God.
premeditating any murders or anything like that before I answer this question.
He's just a guy with interesting thoughts about a padlock and a sock. I never even thought of that.
Depending on who I was going into that house to
either assault or even just to watch. Because who's to say he didn't just watch? You see enough movies and documentaries and stuff where the first couple times they don't go in to kill. They go in there to stand there and watch you sleep. They go in there to watch you take a shower. They go in there to get as close to you without you noticing them. But let's throw that somewhere else. But if I was going to do this, because you asked a question, I would have whichever one was the target. I would have used some chloroform, knocked her out, put her in my vehicle, driven to an isolated area, done what I did. And if she saw me or didn't see me, I would blindfold her during that situation. And I might let her live, depending on whether she saw me or not. My belief on if I left any DNA on her or anything like that. Or I might just kill her if I was at that point where, hey, I already broke one law that I'm going to get potentially 99 years to life on. I might as well run the gamut and ride the lightning. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But one other thing before I let Jeff answer this. Also, if I was going into that home, I would be going in full force. I wouldn't be doing half-ass shit. I wouldn't be thinking. I would be like, okay, I got my knife. Let's roll. Let's rock and roll. Let's do what we need to do. Whoever the first one is, that's the one I'm going to take out. And then if I enjoyed it and the other one came in, then be like, oh man, that was even more of a rush. And then as I'm going down the stairs, I run into this big dude who thinks he's about to take me out. I'm already on my adrenaline dump. So I'm rocking and rolling. I'm going to take him out. And here comes this little girl trying to jump on me. Well, guess what? I'm going to take her out too. And by that point, you're just so amped up, just like you're playing a game of football or baseball or basketball. When your adrenaline is running that hardcore, you don't feel anything. You don't hear anything. You don't see anything but the focus of what you're trying to do. And then I would have wiped the knife on my dickies and walked out the door. Got in the car, probably yelled out loud, woohoo, and drove off. And I'm not trying to be morbid at all, but that
Right.
you asked. So that was my role playing there.
Sonia, did you run off?
No, I'm here.
Okay.
I'm here. I'm like, God, yeah. No, I'm here. I'm just like, I hope
Okay,
he doesn't ask me what. No,
Mm.
I would not be able to answer that.
No,
No.
that's just from years of working with criminals. That's all
Yeah,
that.
of course.
You're like, yeah, right. Yeah, right, 12
No.
gauge. Yeah, right.
No, of course not.
Yeah, right, 12 gauge. Yeah.
But I mean, it was fast. Whatever he went in there with a mission. Now, a lot of people are saying that there was more than one, like with the two other unknown DNAs. I don't know what your thoughts are on that. I'm not sure what my thoughts are on that. To be honest, I'm just like so confused about that part because I'm not good with IgG and DNA, blood and stuff like that. I'm not.
I
it's not my
haven't really dove into that, but I know that was at the very beginning as well. We heard about that at the very beginning.
Yep.
And so it's nothing that's a big mystery that at this point, just because they released it doesn't mean that it just happened. Do you get what I'm
Right.
saying? Just because we actually seen the document or we heard in the courtroom that these things were done or found does not mean that this changes anything that's going on in the present time. Because we heard about all this stuff, you
Yeah.
know? We heard about all this stuff. And that some of the documents that are being revealed right now are being unsealed, people are acting like this is new information, like that we haven't been fed a little bit at a time. Because most of the stuff we've either heard, we've read about, people have speculated about, we've seen it on Reddit, people have talked about it, anything like that, So there's some of it that we didn't know, the
Hmm.
text messages, but we also heard at one point one of the dad was talking about Bethany and Dylan texting each other during the murder.
Right. Yep.
So nobody wanted to believe that. They thought that he was just talking crap. He's told us bits and pieces along the way.
Of course. He said a
So
lot.
yeah,
Gonzalez.
so
They all
so the,
have. They've all said a
yeah,
lot.
so the stuff that we've heard or has been revealed, it's not as shocking as people want to make it sound, or they're still on their thought process of what happened or what could have happened. I mean, that's neither here nor there to me, but
Hmm.
um, we've heard a lot of this stuff. We're just putting the pieces together and trying to make it make sense, so to speak, for us, regardless of whether he's the one or whether he's not at this point.
Right.
It paints a lot clearer picture of what really went on that night.
Hmm.
Not as
Absolutely.
much as, they were drugged from another location, or, they were seen being stabbed in front of the police on Banfield, and, all this stuff that we've heard along the way. I mean,
Yeah.
whatever people believe, they believe, but this makes a lot more sense with the document and how we kind of went through this tonight, to me, visually, than anything else that I've heard up to this
Yeah.
point.
I agree.
What
And
do you
it's
think?
just, it's definitely, the puzzle is being put together. Like, they have a gag order. We have to read between the lines, and we have to go with the visuals like you're showing tonight, which is like amazing. I'm very visual, so I appreciate that. And
Yeah, I
so,
am too. I am
yeah.
too.
And so, just putting it all into perspective, like Xana's room, I've never really thought of it. And then just this tonight, like, has opened up the fact that maybe I didn't even know people were saying she was eating in bed. Um,
I'm
I
sure
don't,
they assumed that she was eating in bed.
I don't know, but I've never heard of that. Like, I've never heard that kind of theory anywhere. So I'm like, well, but
Yeah,
then us talking about it, I'm like, wait, well, if I'm gonna like put myself in a situation or something along those lines, I'd be at the vanity,
and
eating.
that opened my eyes too, because I never thought about the vanity right there. Because we've really never went this kind of direction.
Yeah, and neither have I. So I've never, even in all my little virtual tours of 1122 on TikTok, I've never really dove into, okay, well, in the scenario of the order that they passed and what, where she was sitting and where Ethan was and all of that. Never thought of that, to be honest with you, because that's more the sad part for me to visualize that. So, but it did help, like, maybe understand a little bit more of the situation
And
and
this
what
is
could have
Dylan.
happened.
This is Dylan's room, and I'm gonna
The
run some.
inside, yeah.
I'm
Hmm.
gonna run something by you, and you let
Yeah.
me know if this makes sense. I just thought of this. Okay.
Hmm.
If I'm in this room, people have stated that she went right back to bed in between the times. To me, that doesn't make sense. To me, look at this closet right here. If you're young, there's going to be clothes here,
Hmm. Hmm.
and you are hearing all this stuff, and you're young, and you're kind of not really understanding what's going on. Would you be out in the open out here, or would you be in the closet hiding?
I'd be in the closet. Yeah. Yeah. I would definitely be there, unless she's like really thinking nothing. If it was a prank or something, then she's not taking it seriously until she's like, oh, wait, maybe this is serious. And then she starts like saying, Bethany, I'm freaking the fuck out and all of that, you
Right.
know?
I mean, if you're in the closet, this is a protected place, right?
Yes.
If he walks in and doesn't see you, chances are he's going to walk right back out. Is he not? But I'm sure she locked the door
If there
during
was a
each.
lock on it. Well, I think they all had locks on them, but not
Yeah.
the door pad locks, just normal locks.
You'd be out the window, Kim.
Yeah, but also the closet, that's the first place they would look to. That's true, because that's where everybody hides.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
she was up. I don't think she went back to sleep during each time. I mean, because as we've seen, those messages sound like somebody that is scared, doesn't know what's going on, doesn't know if it's a dream, doesn't know if it's reality, but yet if I don't believe that this was real, or if I was petrified, I've never been a female. That's why I have one on panel right now. And most of you in the chat are females. So, it kind of, when a male is kind of trying to describe what a female would have done or what they would have done, how are they able to put their place in the place of a female?
mhm,
Most of these men that are creators have never been females that I know of, unless they have a secret to tell, something.
mhm, yeah,
Y'all agreed with me that y'all would have been in the closet. One person in the chat said she would have been under the bed. I've been freaked out 2 good times and I didn't hesitate to leave. I understand that.
mhm,
But you don't know where this person is because you're hearing stuff all over the house. Would come home at 3 in the morning and make noise. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm not trying to start an argument or, to talk crap about anybody else. I'm just talking about my own perceptions. And Sonia is here
mhm,
to give the female perspective tonight. And I really appreciate that.
yeah,
Yeah, in real time, you have to remember that all this was happening in real time. There was so much going on so fast in real time. 9 minutes, okay?
mhm,
9 minutes. So you think that's not a long time, but that's quite a long time if you're hearing all these things in between the times where she's opening the door, closing the door. That makes
yeah,
sense a lot more that she was opening and closing the door, thinking that she was probably hallucinating.
yeah. And they mentioned like the fact that she saw Brian Kohlberg, or well, the unaliver, the killer, whoever it was, by the eyebrows. They only she only got what, very split second to see that. Like it's not like
Well, let
it's
me
not like
answer
they
this.
gazed into each other's
Let me
eyes.
answer this question right here because this person says, "Oh my God, call 911." That could have been your response. That's true. You would have called 911. You're right.
Mhm.
But you have to remember that most of these cases, these younger females are going to call safety first. She was trying to tell her story to the dispatcher, and the dispatcher kept cutting her off. She was panicking. She was trying to tell her story to the dispatcher, and she kept cutting her off. She didn't want to hear all that. She wanted to hear where she lived, what the address was, if it was correct, what was her phone number. She wasn't asking what she saw, what she heard, none of that. The dispatcher wasn't doing any of that. So
Mhm.
had she called 911, which they did call that morning, did you see the kind of response they got? You're saying it would have saved lives? Did you see how long that conversation went? How would it
Yeah.
save these people's lives based on that 911 call? So answer me that, okay? I get what you're saying. Call 911, but they did call 911 in the morning. And you see the rigmarole that they got? There wasn't an instantaneous cops rushing in to save the day, paramedics rushing in to save the day. It wasn't like that. We got to see what happened to the 911 call. So if you're calling 911 in the middle of the night, you're getting all this stuff happening to you, just like it happened at noon. Tell me that makes any sense. I've heard that for 2 years and so much time. So answer me that, okay? Answer me that. If you're stuck on 911 would have saved their lives, but they did call 911. And look how much time it took 911 to get there. These people bled out quickly. It may or may not have saved their lives. We don't know. But to be hell bent on a 911 call, people should have called 911. She should have called 911. She should have called so and so. Look what happened when they did call 911. 911 was giving them hell, weren't they? They weren't talking about we're trying to save anybody. They were talking about give us what you see, what you hear. Is there this type of instrument in the house? Is this going on? What's this? What's that? Is she breathing? So answer me how 911 would have saved these individuals. Okay? That's all I'm asking. They weren't there instantly, though. It took them 2 minutes to get there. 2 minutes. And they still weren't able to save them. I'm not arguing. I'm just stating the facts. They do get there pretty quick. 2 minutes it took them to get there. That's how far the police station was from the residence. And the first responders there were not able to save their lives because they were already deceased. So 2 minutes, this young lady did not feel that there was a murder going on. She felt that there was something going on in this house. She wasn't understanding what it was. Her friend, Bethany, and roommate was downstairs trying to make sense of it as well. And even she wasn't making the correlation that there was a murder happening in their home. You can call bullshit if you want. Okay, you can be hanging on to what you believe. That's fine. That's kind of rude, but I'm open to your suggestion. I'm just trying to give you mine. You can call bullshit if you want. The fact of the matter is there's 4 people dead and coulda, woulda, shoulda didn't save their lives. Even if you would have been there in that night, all this going on, tell me how old you are. Tell me at 19, 20, or 21, you would have made the right call. Being drunk, being out of it. Tell me.
Yeah, it's hard to know what you're going to do until you're in that situation.
You don't have to appease me. You don't have to agree with me. That's fine. It is a discussion. You're right. I'm discussing right back. The fact is I'm verbally doing it while you're doing it in writing. That's the difference. I don't have the luxury to hear your voice, your tone, how you're talking to me. You know what I mean? That's what sucks about this. Is I don't have the luxury to hear the way you're meaning it. You know what I mean? Like when you type without any commas or question marks or exclamation point, it's hard to understand how you're meaning it unless you just type BS, then you really know how it's being, presented. I'm sorry. Harlot, nice to see you. I saw you in, where did I see you the other day? And they were liking your name. I think it was Coffin Daffers. The coroner said none of them could have been saved, even if 911 had been called immediately. They all had fatal injuries. Oh, I know that you don't have attitude, and I don't have attitude either. I don't. I'm not fighting anybody. I'm not trying to be argumentative. I'm just stating my point on this side, because it is hard to understand. Don't you think, Sonia?
Yeah, it's
It is hard.
so hard. Like I could sit there from the outside and say, "Hey, I would have like what Aurora is saying. I would have just the fact that he was wearing a balaclava. I would have called. Like I get that as well. Like maybe I would have done that too. I would have hid in the closet and done that as well. Maybe, but then at the same time, I don't know until I'm in that situation. I might have like I even said. A couple times. If that would have happened to me, if I would have seen that or heard anything, I think I would have had a heart attack. and I also would have died. But my method of dying would have been a heart attack, because I just don't think I would be able to live through that, honestly, because of my heart. So that would be me, probably, but I don't know but then adrenaline kicks in as well. When you're in that type of situation, adrenaline is an important thing, and it'll sober you up if you're drunk, for one. And then, based on that, like, there's so many scenarios, anything can happen. So we could say we all know what we do, but we don't know it until, like, and I pray it never happens to any of us, but
Yeah.
we don't know what would happen to, and you know what I mean. I'm just going to repeat myself. But
Yeah. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. And I appreciate your comments, Aurora. I really do. I really do. That's the good thing about this chat is we appreciate people's discussing their point of view. We don't have to all agree the same way. We don't think the same way. We have different life experiences. Like you just said, you were attacked by your boyfriend at 16 and 911 was called. Well,
That's
I'm glad that
for me too, Aurora. Actually, same thing happened to me. I called. I was physically assaulted, and I called 911 right away. Like, it was the first thing, because I was pissed. I called 911 and I got his ass out of here. So I get that as well, and I'm sorry you went through that as well. It's not a fun thing.
too. I am too, and I'm glad that you survived whatever it was that you went
Yep.
through. And nobody's trying to attack you, so I hope you don't feel that way. You either, Kim, because I wasn't trying to attack anybody in the chat. I'm just trying to have a discussion here. And PKC says, if you thought the person was still there, are you going to say, "Hi, dispatch, can you help me before this guy gets me?" I mean, that's a good point as well. If you don't know if the person's still there or not, like I said, like they said, her phone was about to die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's hard to, I think, in that house, because of how it sounded, it would be hard to kind of whisper as well. But because even a whisper you could probably hear from the next room.
Right, exactly. Hey, Layla, thank you for being here. I always like your little dog on your avatar. So
It's
cute. It's adorable, isn't it? They'll say, "What guy when is you have address? What's he wearing by the time he's gone?" True. I mean, that's true. Thank you. He ended up getting splattered by a car a few years later.
I don't know what to say to that.
I don't either.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I guess karma came.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. I'm sorry to hear that, but karma came. Like, I don't know. I'm so sorry, Aurora.
I'm sorry too. I mean, like I said, I wasn't trying to attack you in no sense of the word. And I don't want anybody to feel that I'm trying to attack their thoughts or, their beliefs. That's why we're having a conversation on this.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thankful that, these images were still online when we're able to actually kind of walk through the house, and the house is no longer there,
Mm-hmm.
We got the luxury to at least walk through the house, and we're able to see what we're being told, because I am a visual person too, Sonia.
Yeah. It gives us a good perspective, and it was well made. This thing is really well made. So
Yeah. I mean, one thing that really never really gets spoken about a lot is Kaylee's room. And that's probably how I'm going to end it tonight. It just, this is the last place.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think a lot went on in here. So, I always thought, and this is what I say in this video, I thought that she may have left her slider open, left the dog out there, and he was running along the balcony barking. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Whenever they said they heard a dog barking, and that's might have been what set off the 1112 camera. I originally thought they just put Murphy up on the balcony and closed the door, and he was just stuck on the balcony for so long until the next day. But nothing really happened in there, as we know.
Right. Right. Life is undefeated, unfortunately. It always wins,
Hmm. Yeah.
you know. But that's been my theory for a long time is I thought that the dog was actually out here on the balcony roaming back and forth during
Mm-mm.
the crime because the crime was happening in Maddie's room. I don't see the dog running into the room to protect the master
No,
because it
no.
wasn't that kind of dog. I
Mm-mm.
would have thought that, if Kaylee had the slider open a little bit and he was able to run out there because there was a dog bed out there. So,
There was, yeah. Hmm. Yeah.
even if it was cold, you know, um, I would have thought that possibly the dog would have been running along the balcony, and barking and
Hmm.
doing whatever, and possibly would have maybe even stayed out there, even if it was cold. I mean, it has a lot of fur on it. It's not like it's going to freeze to death. You know what I mean? I know
Yeah.
that it was cold, but that's just a theory of mine. I'm just thinking out loud. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Poor Murphy, regardless. The things he's
Yeah,
seen, the things he's heard.
yeah,
Um, oh, I just empathize with Murphy so much as well. Like I love animals, so gosh. Oh,
yeah. And
like
I'm not gonna play those videos that Jeff played on there because I got a copyright due to them. So I'm not gonna play those. But this
well
has been a
that's
very interesting live with you. You're easy to talk to, and you're easy to bounce things off of. I really
thank you.
enjoyed it. You're
Thank
really
you.
easy.
I like
Um,
how you think as well. So it's like I liked it. I really, really enjoyed it. Thank you so much.
mhm.
It was a great chat actually, like back and forth and uh yeah, I really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah. Aurora, I hope that you felt okay in the chat, and you're more than welcome to come back. And you're always welcome, as well as anybody else who hopped in here and hopped out and just watching. I mean, you're more than welcome to come in the chat. We are not gonna fight in the chat. We're gonna accept you as your opinion, and I don't know how it is wherever you go and listen to other creators or whatever, but you're always welcome here. And I hope that you come back. I hope that you come back. Um, One thing really quickly, there's been something else that just dropped today, and I want to know your opinion on it. Did
Okay.
you hear about the Delphi video that was just released?
No, I didn't really follow the Delphi, so I wouldn't be the go-to for that. I really have not. Like I think if I started, I'd be like there for days, right? Probably a long time. It's a huge case, right? I never got into it, unfortunately, but I heard something about a bridge. Something about a bridge is what I
There
heard.
is a 45-second video
Okay.
that, and I'm gonna give the page a shout out of where I watched it, J for Justice podcast, so you can go watch it over there. She is live right now, or I'll show the video. The video is basically the youngest girl. What was her name? Libby. Which one was the young one, Libby or Abby?
Okay. Yes, I heard those names, Libby and Abby. Yes. Okay.
I don't know which one the youngest one was, but whoever the
Okay.
youngest one was, she was videotaping the other girl, the oldest one, walking across the bridge. Well, you can see when they still shot this how close the killer is to the oldest one. And as the video keeps rolling, you hear the youngest one saying, "Well, there's not a trail down there." And
Hmm.
it's assumed at this point that the killer has caught up with the oldest one, or maybe even have her restrained. And you hear him say, "Down the hill." And then it kind of goes off after that. It's
Wow.
it's it's
Oh my
very
God.
it's very telling. Okay, Abby was the youngest. Thank you, Texas. So Abby was the one that was filming it, and Libby was the one that was in front of the killer. And
Wow.
and Abby's the one saying, "Well, there's not a trail down there." And you hear the killer say, "Down the hill." And that's that's what's being discussed on the other avenues. So,
Wow. I think, wow, that's an interesting case. And I've heard something about it being cult or whatever related. I don't know. See, there's a lot of, I'm missing a lot on this case, I think.
hmm
Hmm.
I mean, I really didn't get into that case because I was so deep into Idaho, you know.
Wow. In this case,
You can hear her heartbeat
oh
and
my
him click
goodness.
his gun. Wow.
You,
That's terrible.
oh
That is
no.
terrible. Yeah, that one is vicious as well. I mean, and that's one thing that I hope that people in the true crime community get across to them. And by no means am I the moral compass in any way. I don't want people to take this the wrong way. But I hope they really get beyond the smiles and the images of innocence and really focus on the viciousness and the violence of all these crimes that happen to these victims. Because otherwise, you're not doing them justice. You're doing the ones that were alive justice, but not the ones that actually suffered at the hands of these murderers. And that's just my opinion, you
Oh,
know?
wow. See, that's a children case. So I don't usually follow those because, like I said earlier, I just find them way too sad. Like, I couldn't. I would be too invested. I already have a hard time sleeping with the Idaho case whenever something new comes out.
Right.
You know what I mean? And if it was like children related, I guess I think I would just be worse and crying a lot.
Right.
But oh my goodness, I can't even imagine. Oh, that's
I
sad.
might, I might look into the video because only I want to know exactly.
Well, I'm curious. I want to see it too. After I'm off
Jay,
here, I'm going to go.
Jay for Justice, Jay for Justice podcast. She's
Yeah, I
live.
like her. Yeah, okay. She's live right now.
But
Yes.
also, I hope that you guys that have enjoyed this go over to Sonia Dee's page and give her a like and subscribe, and give her some comments or watch her stuff. And Sonia, you're more than welcome to join me at any time that you're in the chat, as well
Sure.
as
Anytime
the
you
other
want.
creator that's been here. Salty, I know that you were here for a minute. I don't know if you're still here. Thank you for showing up. I don't miss very many people that show up in the chat because I am watching it pretty well. But I've seen a lot of different names tonight, and I'm happy that y'all stopped by and gave us some time out of your night.
Me too.
You're more than welcome to come back, and I hope that you do, and I hope that y'all give the page some likes. Well, there's Nina. You're showing up at the end. I guess we'll have to catch you another time, Nina.
Well, thank you so much, 12 Gauge. I really, really, really appreciated the the invite. I was so happy and so blessed. So thank you so much. And everybody was so great. I loved the vibe. It's really nice. And hi, Nina.
Yeah. Well, we've worked very hard to try to make it civil in here. You know what I mean? Because we're all adults in here, and
Yeah,
there's no
I
reason
agree.
why we can't contour to the adult like environment.
Absolutely.
You
All
know.
right.
So,
Well, it's 11:11 on that.
all
I'm
right.
gonna wish everybody a good night, sweet dreams, and we'll do this again, definitely.
Okay. Sounds great. You
Good
have a
night,
wonderful
everybody.
night.
Thank
Thank you so much.
you. Bye,
Bye.
guys.
All right. So, thank you guys so much. Thank you so much for being here tonight, and thank you for the people that, like I said, stopped in and said hello and even gave some insight. Um, we must, as a community, get together to the point where we have difference of opinions, where we can still be civil, regardless of what we believe, what we think, whether we believe in the government, whether we believe in police. It's okay not to believe. It's okay not to trust. We can't change other adults' feelings or thoughts. And we definitely won't get there by being angry and hateful towards each other. Hopefully, at a particular time, we all can get to a point where we can go anywhere in this community and have disagreement, but we can still have adult-like conversations. Thank you so much for being here. And I don't know that I have anything coming up in the near future, but if I do, I will post it on my community page. Thank you so much, mods, for being vigilant in the chat, as well as being accommodating to our guest. And that being stated, I will see you guys soon. Maestro, cue that music.